I agree
Hari
with
Bol. Hare Krishna. Hari Bol. Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Gandhar Vikagiri Dhari Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishram Vishnupar Shutar Shita Shimar Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Shri Gurudev Ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishram Vishnupar Shutar Shita Shimar Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishram Vishnupar Ashtar Shitashmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosai Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Mahābhagavat Śrīla Gaurkṣara Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Śrīla Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Śrī Rūpa no Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai Śrī Rūpa Sanātana Bhatta Raghunath Śrī Jeev Gopal Bhattadas Raghunath Sākara Gosai Prabhu Ki Jai, Śrī Swarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari, Śrī Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai, Namachay Śrīla Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Vraja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Sarva Abhishtapadata Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai, Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kunda Ki Jai, Shri Amuna Devi Ganga Devi Ki Jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai, Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya Ki Jai, Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Right, starting the Mangalacharan. Ajnanatirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Avatirno Sakarunyo Parichinno Sarishvaro Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityanando Dvau Bhrataro Bhaje Namastri Kala Satyaya Jagannatha Sutaya Cha Sabhrityaya Saputraya Sakalatraya Te Namaha Jai Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Lakshmi Kanta Jai Jai Nityananda Vallabha Ekanta Jai Jai Vaikunta Ishwar Nyasi Raj Jaya 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 Bhakata Samaj Jai Jai Patita Pavana Gaura Chandra Dana Deha Hridaye Tomar Pada Dvanda Shesha Khanda Katha Bhai Shuno Ekachitte Nila Chale Gaura Chandra Aila Jemate Tavai Vasmi Na Jivami Tvaya Vina Iti Vigyaya Devi Tvang Nayamang Charanantikam Bhaktya Vihina Aparada Lakshai Kshiptastakama Ditaranga Madhe Kripa Maitvam Sharanam Prapanna Vrinde Namaste Charanarvindam Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. The glories of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata and Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur from Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, Chapter 8. Ore muro lok shuno Chaitanya Mangal, Chaitanya Mahima Jate Jani Beshakal, Krishna Lila Bhagavate Kohe Ved Vyas, Chaitanya Lilar Vyas Vrindavana Das, Vrindavana Das Koilo Chaitanya Mangal, Jahar Shravane Nashi Sarvaya Mangal. चैतन्य निताय जाते जानिए महिमा जाते जानी कृष्ण भक्ति सिद्धांतेर सीमा भागवते जत भक्ति सिद्धांतेर सार लिखिया चेन इहाँ जानी कोरिया उद्धार चैतन्य मंगल सुने जदि पाषांदे जवन से हो महावैष्णव होय ततक्षण मनुष्य रचिते नारे ऐच्छे ग्रंथ धन्य वृंदावन दास मुखे भक्त श्री चैतन्य वृंदावन दास पोरे कोटि नमस्कार ऐच्छे ग्रंथ कोरिते हो तारिला संसार नारायणी चैतन्येर उच्छिष्ट भाजन तार गर्भे जन्मिला श्री दास वृंदावन तार की अद्भुत चैतन्य चरित वर्णन जहाँ श्रवण शुद्ध कोइल त्रिभुवन सहजे विचित्र मधुर चैतन्य विहार वृंदावन दास मुखे अमृते धार वृंदावन दास मुखे अमृते धार. By nature, all the activities of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata are very wonderful and sweet. And when they're described by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, they become like a shower of nectar. Jai Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata ki jai, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai. The Gaudiya Bhashya of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki jai. All the associates of Gaur Hari ki jai. Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Haribo Nari Hari Prabhu, and Bhavatarani Mataji, Champak Mataji, and all the devotees watching on YouTube and Facebook. I don't see any comments yet, so I don't know who's there, but pranams, everybody. So we are continuing our reading from Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata, Antya-khaṇḍa, chapter 9. Let's see, all the topics. Let's read the chapter summary written by Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj as a brahmachari. Here. The Glories of Advaita, chapter 9, Antya-khaṇḍa. This chapter describes Mahaprabhu's acceptance of lunch alone at Advaita's house in Nilachal. Mahaprabhu's inquiry from Damodar Pandit about Mother Shachi's devotional service to Vishnu. Mahaprabhu's resolve not to eat at the house of anyone who did not daily chant 100,000 names of Hari. One second, I'm just making sure that my mic is plugged in. It is, okay. Okay, so Mahaprabhu's resolved not to eat at the house of anyone who did not daily chant 100,000 names of Hari. The Lord's inquiry to Śrī Keshav-bharati whether Gyan or Bhakti was superior, and his jubilation on hearing that Bhakti was superior. The devotee's glorification of Lord Chaitanya under the order of Śrī Advaita, that was so much fun, that part. That's what we ended with yesterday. Today we'll be reading about the Lord's meeting with Śrī Rūpa and Sanātana, Śrīman Mahāprabhu's awarding the name Sanātana to Sākara Mallika, Mahaprabhu's confirmation to Śrīvās of Advaita's position as a Supersoul and the material cause of all ingredients. And that's what we're going to be reading about today. And then tomorrow we'll read about the Lord's, his establishment of Lord Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead by quoting the incident of the great sage Bhrigu from Śrīmad Bhagavatam and the inconceivable nature of the exalted Vaishnav's behavior. That will be tomorrow. All right, so here's a more in-depth summary. The Vaishnavas came to Nilachal with all the ingredients and eatables that Mahaprabhu loved to eat in his childhood. And the Lord, who is affectionate to his devotees, accepted lunch at the houses of different devotees when their devotee wives, who were expert cooks, cooked various preparations from the ingredients that they brought. One day, Advaita Prabhu invited Mahaprabhu for lunch and personally cooked for the Lord. Advaita's wife assisted him by making all the arrangements for cooking. Śrī Advaita Ācārya had the desire to feed Mahaprabhu alone to his heart's satisfaction, and suddenly, by the arrangement of providence, the sannyasis who usually ate with the Lord were separated from him due to a big storm. Thus, Mahaprabhu went alone to the house of Advaita and fulfilled his desire. Since Indra assisted Advaita Ācārya in his discharge of devotional service to Krishna by sending a storm and rain, Advaita Ācārya began to offer Indra prayers, considering him a servant of Krishna. Understanding Advaita Ācārya's heart, Mahaprabhu glorified Advaitas by saying that it was not at all astonishing that Indra would follow the order of one whose resolution even Lord Krishna was bound to fulfill. The so-called followers of Advaita, who rather than accept Śrī Advaita Ācārya's subordination to Śrī Caitanya, think otherwise, are not fit to be seen by Advaita Ācārya. When Damodar Pandit returned from Bengal and Mahaprabhu asked him about Mother Shachi's devotional service to Vishnu, the impartial Damodar glorified Mother Shachi as Murti Mati Vishnu Bhakti, the embodiment of devotional service to Lord Vishnu. And he described the glories of the word I. How long is our reading today? If it's not too long, then maybe we can, because that was such a beautiful section, maybe we could read directly from the book, because we didn't do that yesterday. I'm just looking at our schedule. Let's see. Okay. Here, you can see it with me. Caitanya-bhāgavata readings. All right, so today's reading will be only 4,544 words. Okay, maybe let's go to the book then, because I really like that part. Damodar became angry with Mahaprabhu for asking such a question. Okay, so let's type in Damodar. Damodar. Okay, so the Lord would gather all his devotees and constantly engage in Sankirtan. He would continually dance and induce others to dance. After going to Navadip to see Mother Shachi, Damodar Pandit quickly returned to Nilachal. When the Lord saw Damodar, Haribol Sarveshwari Mataji. So when the Lord saw Damodar, he took him to a secluded place and inquired from him about Mother Shachi. The Lord asked, "You stayed with my mother. Now tell me the truth. Does she have devotion to Lord Vishnu? Arki Vishnu Bhakti Ācārya, does she have devotion Vishnu Bhakti?" On hearing this question, Damodar Pandit, who was very austere and impartial, very impartial. He didn't try to please anybody. He's completely direct, very simple, nirapeksha. He became angry. He became angry with Mahaprabhu and replied, "Oh Lord, what did you say? Are you asking whether your mother has any devotion? It is by your mother's mercy that you have devotion for Vishnu. Whatever you have is by her potency. Know for certain that whatever devotion for Vishnu you have is by her mercy. Transformations of love for Vishnu, like crying, shivering, perspiring, fainting, standing of hairs on end, and loud roaring, are constantly visible on the body of Mother Shachi, and she is always chanting the holy name of Krishna. Oh Lord, you have asked about the devotion of Mother Shachi? It is Mother Shachi who is addressed as devotional service to Vishnu. When you're saying Vishnu Bhakti, you're addressing Mother Shachi. I tell you, she is Murti Mati Bhakti. She is the embodiment of devotional service to Vishnu. Although you know this, you ask me as if you did not know. If even someone who considers the word I an ordinary word utters this word, by the influence of that sound, he is freed from all distress. I means mother, and they use it in reference to Mother Shachi. So somebody even just says I in a material way, like thinking it to be a material world, they're freed from all distress, that person. On hearing the glories of Mother Shachi from the mouth of Damodar Pandit, the happiness of Lord Gaurachandra increased without limit. Absorbed in the mellows of ecstatic love, the Lord repeatedly embraced Damodar Pandit with satisfaction. "O Damodar, today you have purchased me, for you have confirmed what was in my heart. Whatever asset of devotion to Vishnu I have is by my mother's mercy. There is no doubt about it. I am living in this world by her will. Therefore, I will never be able to repay her. O Damodar, please listen. I am always bound by her affection, and I always see her." After blessing Damodar Pandit in this way, Gaur Hari sat down with his devotees. The Lord's inquiry about Mother Shachi's devotion was only to teach the people of this world. A person sometimes inquires from his friends, "Please tell me, are our friends doing well?" But the Lord revealed the actual meaning of the word kushal, or well, by inquiring whether a person had devotion. Is your devotion flowing? That's what we should be asking, not, that's what we mean when we're asking if you're doing well. Mahaprabhu taught. If someone has devotion, then everything is well. But without devotion, even the position of a king is inauspicious. If one has wealth, fame, and material enjoyment but is bereft of devotion, then everything is inauspicious. And if one is so poor that he has no food for a day, but he has devotion to Lord Vishnu, then he is the richest person. As the devotees invited the Lord to take his meal in their houses, the Lord took the opportunity to teach them all this topic. I take meals only in the houses, Mahaprabhu said, I take meals only in the house of a Lakeshwar. Hearing this, the Brahmins became worried. The Brahmins often, that means Lakeshwar is like a millionaire. Somebody, or who, it means somebody who is the lord of 100,000. So it means somebody who has, at that time, 100,000. Can't even imagine how much that is. So I only take prasad in the houses of millionaires and billionaires. The Brahmins offered prayers to the Lord. "Oh, Goshai, what to speak of 100,000? None of us possess even 1,000. If you do not accept meals from us, then let our entire household be burnt to ashes." The Lord replied, "Do you know who is a Lakeshwar? He is someone who daily chants 100,000 holy names. I call that person a Lakeshwar. I take meals only in such a person's house, not in the houses of others." Hearing this merciful statement of the Lord, the Brahmins gave up their anxiety and became joyful. "O Lord, we will chant 100,000 names. Please, therefore, take your meals in our houses. It is our good fortune that you are teaching us in this way." All the Brahmins then began to chant 100,000 names every day so that they could offer food to Lord Chaitanya Chandra. In this way, the Lord of Vaikuntha enjoyed in the ocean of devotional service by inducing others to take up the process of devotional service. The mission of his incarnation was to distribute the process of devotional service. For this reason, he did not ask for anything other than engagement in devotional service. And then this, I want to read this Gaudiya Bhashya again. We read this yesterday. The devotees of Śrī Caitanya, this is Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, he says, the devotees of Śrī Caitanya do not converse with non-devotees. It is not proper to have friendship with those who are intoxicated by topics of karma, gyan, and extraneous desires, rather than by topics of devotional service. Unless the fallen souls daily chant 100,000 names, their propensity for material enjoyment will increase. Then they will no longer be able to serve Sri Gaurasundar. The Gaudiya Vaishnavas do not approve as ideal any example of devotional service to Gaur that does not include chanting 100,000 names. As a result of aversion to chanting the Lord's names, which is a supreme form of worship, the fallen souls pretends to execute other forms of worship rather than chant 100,000 names. By doing so, they do not achieve any benefit. So even though we may not be chanting 100,000 names a day now, maybe some of you are, I definitely am not, but we definitely, like, there's no doubt about it after reading all this, we definitely have to have that as a goal that we're going to, like, it's not enough just to spend the rest of our life, spending the rest of our life just chanting 16 rounds a day. We have to, at some point, if we really want to consider, like, be considered a sadhak, like in the true sense, we have to come up to that level of chanting 1 lakh a day. So the Lord said, well-being and auspiciousness always accompany one who has devotion to Krishna. Gaurachandra does not even see the face of one who does not speak about the glories of devotional service. One day, the Lord asked his spiritual master, Keshav-bharati, about bhakti and gyan. The Lord inquired, which is greater, gyan or bhakti? O Goshai, please consider and tell me conclusively. Keshav-bharati thought for a while and then replied to Gaurasundar. He said, Keshav-bharati said, after considering the topic, I have concluded that the glories of bhakti are superior to all. The Lord asked, why is bhakti greater than gyan? The sannyasis say that gyan is greater. Keshav-bharati replied, they have not understood the conclusion accepted by all the Mahajans. The Vedic literature teaches one to accept the path of the Mahajans. And there's this verse at the end. Anyways, we'll see it. I think he even quotes it. Yeah. Yena gata what is it? Mahajani yeno gata sapanta or something like that. It says, fools give up that path to accept another. Now here's the 12 Mahajans, and all of these 12 Mahajans have shown that bhakti is superior to gyan, that bhakti is the essence of everything. Brahma, Shiva, Narad, Prahlad, Shukadev, Vyas, the 4 Kumars headed by Sanak, the 5 Pandavas headed by Yudhishthir, Priyavrata, Prithu, Dhruva, Akrura, and Uddhav are all addressed as Mahajans. These are the 12 Mahajans. I love this. In the Gaudiya Bhasha, it says, see the entire Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. It just gives the entire Śrīmad Bhāgavatam as the reference. And then, so they always beg, these 12 Mahajans always beg for devotional service at the Lord's lotus feet. If Gyan were greater, why would they beg for bhakti? Why would these Mahajans reject liberation and always beg for bhakti without careful consideration? All their statements are supported by the Puranas. What benediction did Brahma ask from the Lord? What benediction did Brahma ask from the Lord? And here's what he's asking. Tarastume nata sabhuri bhago bhavet travanyatra tuvatirashtam yena hameko pi bhavajjananam bhutva nisheve tavapada palavam. Brahma said, my dear Lord, I therefore pray to be so fortunate in this life as Lord Brahma or in another life. Wherever I take my birth, I pray that I may be counted as one of your devotees. He's not praying for liberation. He's not praying that I will be relieved of the suffering of this material world and, attain. No, he's praying that I may be counted as one of your devotees. I pray that wherever I may be, even among the animal species, I can engage in devotional service to your lotus feet. O my Lord, in this birth as Brahma, or in whatever other birth I may take, let me be your servant and always engage in your service. This is much superior to being freed from material suffering, crossing over the material existence. The service. What was it? Diyamanam nagrinanti vina mat sevanam janam. All the 4 different kinds of liberation. The devotee rejects these and only wants the service of the Lord. Actually, 5 types of liberation, right? Yeah. In this way, all the Mahajans and their followers desire only devotional service and reject everything else. And now he's giving a verse from the Vishnu Puran. Keshav Bharati is quoting this verse. He says, O Lord Achyuta, wherever I may be born among thousands of species of life, may I always have unflinching devotion for you. O Lord Hrishikesh, in whatever species of life I take birth as a result of my past activities, let me always remain fixed in your devotional service. Therefore, the path of devotional service followed by the Mahajans is the best in every respect. This is confirmed in all the scriptures. And then now here's this famous verse that we have to, Mahajano yena gata sapantaha. We must follow the path set out by the Mahajans. We must follow in their footsteps. So this verse says, dry arguments are inconclusive. A great personality whose opinion does not differ from others is not considered a great sage. Simply by studying the Vedas, which are variegated, one cannot come to the right path by which religious principles are understood. The solid truth of religious principles is hidden in the heart of an unadulterated, self-realized person. Consequently, as the Shastras confirm, one should accept whatever progressive path the Mahajans advocate. So we shouldn't just read the Shastras on our own. You'll get confused. You won't. No, we have to follow those who actually understand, who actually fully follow the words of the scriptures. We follow them. We don't approach the scriptures directly, stepping over their heads. No, we have to follow, because we have zero access to the Shastra just by our own brain. It's revealed to us by the Mahajans, by the mercy of the Mahajans. Yeah. Hearing from the mouth of Keshav Bharati that bhakti is greater, the Lord loudly shouted the name of Hari in ecstatic love. The Lord declared, I will stay for some more time in this world. I am telling you the truth. If you would have told me that Gyan was greater, I would have entered the ocean today. In satisfaction, the Lord caught hold of the feet of his guru, and his guru affectionately offered his obeisances to the Lord. The Lord said, for anyone who does not discuss devotional service to the Supreme Lord, then giving up the Shika and Brahman thread and engaging in austerity are all useless. The Lord did not discuss anything besides devotional service, because Lord Chaitanya was the incarnation of the mellows of devotional service. He was Bhakti Rasa Moy, completely overflowing with Bhakti Ras. Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata. Forgetting whether it was day or night, the devotees constantly engaged in loud chanting and dancing. One day, when Advaita Prabhu was intoxicated with ecstasy, he spoke to all the devotees. Okay, so I'm going a bit over time right now. Usually we finish going over the summary at 7:30, and it's 7:30 now. But since we have such a short reading today, that's why I'm reading all the translations. Okay, so one day when Advaita Prabhu was intoxicated with ecstasy, he spoke to all the devotees. Advaita said, please listen, my dear brothers. Let us all together glorify Śrī Caitanya-Mahaprabhu. Today we will not glorify any incarnation other than Lord Chaitanya, who is the source of all other incarnations. He's the avatari. We're not going to glorify any avatar. We're going to glorify avatari Śrī Caitanya. He is Sarva Avatar Moy. This Lord is the deliverer of the entire universe, and he is incarnated as Gauranga for our benefit. Because of him, we are worshipped everywhere. It was he who introduced the wealth of Sankirtan. I will dance while you all sing the glories of Lord Chaitanya. I will dance while you all sing the glories of Lord Chaitanya, for if I sing as loud as a lion, you will all be frightened. So I'm just going to dance. You guys can do the singing. I don't want to frighten you all. At least that's what it sounded like it's saying. Nachi ami tomra Chaitanya Jashagao, Shinga hoy gahi, pache mone bhoi pao. Yeah. Okay, so the Lord generally concealed himself, for they were the Lord generally concealed himself. So they were afraid that he might become angry. The Lord never revealed that he was the Supreme Lord. Oh my, is he going to become angry with us? Like, we're not supposed to reveal this out loud. Still, Advaita's instruction could not be disregarded. All right, Advaita is instructing us. Therefore, the devotees began singing the glories of Lord Chaitanya. The lion-like Advaita danced and became overwhelmed in ecstasy as the devotees all around him sang the auspicious glories of Lord Chaitanya. And there's a special ras in breaking the rules, right? That's why Parakya ras is the topmost ras possible, because it's breaking the social convention, like there's some excitement. You're not supposed to be sneaking out, like again. So here also, I think there's some special excitement because we're not really supposed to be chanting Mahaprabhu's glories like this, like that he's a supreme lord out loud. He tried to conceal that from the public. So, but Advaita Acharya is asking us, he's going to protect us. And so there's they're doing something they're not supposed to. So there's extra excitement. So the lion like Advaita danced and became overwhelmed in ecstasy as the devotees all around him sang the auspicious glories of Lord Chaitanya. All the devotees became stunned with ecstasy as they heard the chanting of the name and glories of this most recent incarnation. As Advaita danced, he sang a song he composed in glorification of Lord Chaitanya for the deliverance of the entire universe. Now, here's that song that he composed. We can sing it together. Śrī Caitanya Narayana Karuna Sagar, Śrī Caitanya Narayana Karuna Sagar, Dukhiter Bandhu Prabhu More Daya Karo, Dukhiter Bandhu Prabhu More Daya Karo. The meaning is, O Lord Chaitanya, you are Lord Narayan himself. You are an ocean of mercy, and you are the friend of the distressed. Please be merciful on me. By chanting this verse, which issued from the mouth of Advaita Singha, the lion like Advaita, all one's opulences are increased. All one's sampada, one's wealth is increased. One becomes rich with bhakti. Some devotees chanted, Jai Shachinandan. Other devotees chanted, Jai Gaurachandra Narayan. Gaurachandra Narayan. This is something Mahaprabhu would not let the devotees chant, Gaurachandra Narayan. He's keeping that secret that he's Narayan. But because Advaita told them, now they're singing, Jaya Sankirtana Priya Shri Gora Gopal, Jaya Bhakta Jana Priya Pashandira Kal. All glories to Shri Gaur Gopal, who is fond of Sankirtan. All glories to the Lord, who is dear to the devotees, and who is death personified for the atheists. Advaita Singha danced with great enthusiasm as the devotees sang the names, qualities, and pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. And then there's this beautiful song which we sung yesterday. I'm not going to sing the song again because I don't want to. Yeah, we have to start reading eventually. So just behold the incarnation of Lord Chaitanya, who sings his own glories, whose hairs stand on end, and who rolls on the ground in ecstasy. Lord Hari, the hero of Vaikuntha, has incarnated in the form of a Brahman to enjoy pastimes of Sankirtan. His complexion is like gold, his hands extend to his knees, and his form is most attractive. He has accepted the form of a sannyasi, and he becomes overwhelmed in his own ecstatic mood. I cannot describe how jubilantly he dances. All glories to Shri Gaurasundar, the ocean of mercy. All glories to the Lord of Vrindavan. All glories to the recently advented Lord of Navadvip. Please give me shelter at your lotus feet. As the devotees, as all the devotees chanted, Advaita Prabhu danced and meditated on the lotus feet of Gauranga. Hearing the new verses glorifying the most recent incarnation, all the Vaishnavas chanted the name of Hari in great joy. The bliss of that kirtan was wonderful. Indeed, only Nityananda can describe it. Hearing the tumultuous sounds of that kirtan, the best of the sannyasis came to that place. Mahaprabhu heard that kirtan from afar, and so he came to that place. When the devotees saw the Lord, they sang with greater enthusiasm, and Advaita danced jubilantly. In their ecstasy, the devotees did not become frightened, but continued chanting the Lord's glories in his presence, because Advaita was with them, so they weren't afraid. Advaita is going to save them. Yet the Lord always enjoyed the mood of a servant, and would say, I am Krishna's servant. He did not claim anything other than this. No one had the power to stand before the Lord and address him as Ishwar rather than Das. No, nobody could refer to him as being the Supreme Lord. They could only refer to him as being Das. Mahaprabhu wouldn't allow anything. Nobody was brave enough to do that. Still, by the strength of Advaita, the devotees fearlessly glorified Lord Chaitanya. The Lord stood there for a moment, but on hearing his own glorification, he became somewhat embarrassed and he took off. To teach everyone, the Supreme Lord, who is the instructing spiritual master, then left that place for his own residence. I'm not going to hear this. And he took off. Even then, the devotees did not become frightened. Rather, they chanted with greater enthusiasm. They all became so absorbed in ecstasy that they lost external consciousness. Then they saw the Lord dancing in the kirtan. They had a spurti, right? Yes. Prabhu ache kirtan bhitore. They all chanted the glories of Lord Chaitanya like madmen. Matta prai. The pious onlookers felt happy, while the impious onlookers felt distressed. What is the use of being a sannyasi or a brahmachari if one is not attracted to the glorification of Lord Chaitanya? In this way, the devotees always engaged in congregationally chanting the name of Hari in transcendental ecstasy. Whoever reads or hears about these blissful pastimes certainly attains the association of such devotees. While chanting and dancing in this way, all the devotees went to meet the Lord at his residence. But after hearing the devotees chant his glories, Śrī Caitanya laid down to induce fear in them. The pious Govinda informed the Lord, "All the Vaishnavas have come to see you." On receiving permission, Govinda brought the devotees in, but the Lord remained lying down, ignoring them. Then all the devotees became fearful, and they began to meditate on Gaurachandra's lotus feet. After a moment, the Lord, who was affectionate to his devotees, began to speak. He said, "O Vaishnavas, O magnanimous Śrīvās Pandit, what were you doing today? You gave up the glorification of Krishna and his name, and then who did you glorify? Please tell me." The eloquent Śrīvās Pandit replied, "O Goshai, there is no independence at all for the living entity. I can clearly tell you that today we acted and spoke in whatever way the Lord inspired us." The Lord said, "You are all learned scholars. Why would you expose someone who wants to remain hidden?" On hearing the Lord's words, Śrīvās Pandit chuckled to himself as he tried to cover the sun with his 2 hands. The Lord then asked him, "What is the meaning of this gesture you're making with your hands? Please explain." So Śrīvās went like that, trying to cover the sun. Śrīvās Pandit said, "To tell you the truth, I was covering the sun with my hands." "But how is it possible to cover the sun with one's hands?" Similarly, it is impossible to hide you. Even the sun, even if the sun can somehow or other be covered by one's hands, you will never be able to hide yourself. How could one hide in this world? How could one hide in this world when he could not hide in the ocean of milk? From the Himalayas to Setubandha, throughout the world, your spotless glories are spread in all directions. The chanting of your glories has filled the entire universe. How many people can you punish for this? People all over the universe are glorifying you. Are you going to punish everybody? How many people can you punish? The Lord always increases the glories of his devotees. At that time, something wonderful happened just outside the door. Thousands of people who had come to take darshan of Lord Jagannath suddenly came to see Lord Chaitanya. Thousands of people were standing outside of the door all of a sudden. Some people came from Tripura, some came from Chhattisgarh, some came from Srihata, and some came from Bengal. There were thousands of people performing kirtan and glorification of Lord Chaitanya. They all chanted, "All glories to Jai Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Banamali, Jai Nija Bhakti Rasa, Jai Jai Nija Bhakta Rasa Kutuhali. All glories to Śrī Caitanya, who wears a garland of forest flowers. All glories to the Lord, who eagerly enjoys the mellows of his own devotional service. All glories to the Supreme Lord, who has accepted the form of the topmost sannyasi. All glories to Murari, who is most attached to the process of Sankirtan. All glories to the best of the Brahmanas, who always enjoys in Vaikuntha. All glories to the Supreme Lord, who is the greatest benefactor of the world. All glories to Śrī Krishna Chaitanya, the son of Shachi." In this way, hundreds of people chanted and danced. Then Śrīvās Pandit said, "Oh my Lord, what will you do now? The whole world is singing your glories. Where will you hide? Have I taught all these people? Oh Lord, the entire world chants your glories in this way. Oh Lord, although you are unseen and unmanifest, you have now mercifully manifest yourself before the people of this world. You hide yourself and you manifest yourself. Only one who receives your favor can know you." The Lord said, "I can understand that you have made these people glorify me by manifesting your spiritual potency. O Pandit, I have been defeated by you. I can understand that you possess all potencies. Tumi sarva shakti samanvita." It is the nature of the Lord to always increase the glories of his devotees. This is confirmed in the Vedas and in the Bhagavatam. Then, smiling on the devotees, the Lord sent them off, and they returned to their residences. Such was the affection shown to the devotees by Lord Chaitanya, who is glorified by everyone as Krishna himself. All right, so that's where we read up to yesterday. Just double checking, that's where we read up to yesterday. Yesterday we read, 228. Okay, great. All right, so now we're continuing on. Nityananda Advaita Jatika Pradhan Sabe Bole Shri Krishna Chaitanya Bhagavan. Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Ācārya, and all other leading devotees declare that Shri Krishna Chaitanya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Esha kala Ishvarer Vachana Langhiya Anyere Boloe Krishna She Abhagiya. Anyone who does not accept the verdict of such great personalities, but accepts someone else's Krishna, is certainly unfortunate. Gaudiya Bhashya by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada. The Vishnu Tattvas, Shri Nityananda and Shri Advaita, as well as other prominent devotees of Gaur, accepted Shri Chaitanya Dev as the original personality of Godhead. But unfortunate people, by defective intelligence, designate living entities influenced by the threefold material miseries as Krishna. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Dev taught living entities how to attain ecstatic love for Krishna, the topmost of all goals of life. People who attribute the position of God on human beings accept creatures of extraneous desires, karma, and jnana as God, rather than accepting them as lumps of matter forced to enjoy the results of karma. This is a symptom of their great misfortune. I think them as God rather than just lumps of matter forced to enjoy the results of karma. I like that. Sheshai Lakshmikanta Śrīvāsa Lanchan Kaustuva Bhushan Ar Garuda Vahan. The Supreme Lord lies on Sheshnak. He is the husband of the goddess of fortune. His chest is decorated with the mark of Śrīvāsa, and the Kaustuba jewel, and his carrier is Garuda. Eshav Krishnir Chinna Jani Ho Nishchoy Ganga Ar Karo Para Parme Na Janmoy Śrī Caitanya Bina Iha Anye Na Sambhave E Kohe Vede Shastre Shakala Vaishnave. Know for certain that all these symptoms are found in Krishna, and that Mother Ganga does not appear from the lotus feet of anyone else. Except for Lord Chaitanya, these symptoms are not possible to find in anyone else. This is a statement of the Vedic literatures and the Vaishnavas. Gaudiya Bhashya. One second, I just remembered something I have to do, and I just want to write it down before I forget. Okay. Gaudiya Bhashya. The Ganga emanates from the lotus feet of Krishna, who is the cause of all causes, whose form is eternal, full of knowledge whose form is eternal, full of knowledge and bliss, and who is the supreme personality of Godhead. Except Sri Krishna, all the demigods hold the Ganga water on their heads. The Ganga cannot emanate from the feet of any demigod. To attain the lotus feet of Sri Gaurasundar, Ganga Devi induced common people to give up the observance of the Sri Vaishnavas from the Ramanuja Sampradaya and take bath in the Ganga, because Sri Gaurasundar followed the local tradition and took bath in the Jahnavi who emanated from his lotus feet. See the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 9.4 verses 63 to 68 and 1.9.37. And the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 11.14.15, it is stated, Na tata me priyatama atmayoni na shankara, na cha sankarshano na shrir, naivatma chayata bhavan. O Uddhav, neither Brahma, nor Shankar, nor Sankarshan, nor Lakshmi, nor even my own self is as dear to me as you. In the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 10.3 verses 8 to 9, it is stated, Nishite tama udbhute jayamane janardane deva kyam deva rupinyam Vishnu sarva guhashaya avirasid yatha prachyam dishindur iva pushkala. And then this verse also, Tam arbhutam balakam ambujekshanam chatur bujam shanka gadadudayudam Śrīvāsa lakshmam galashobi kostubam pitambaram sandara payodara sobhagam. Sorry, I didn't do the proper meter. So this is in the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, chapter 3 of the 10th canto, verses 8 and 9 says, Then the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu, who is situated in the core of everyone's heart, appeared from the heart of Devaki like the full moon rising on the eastern horizon, because Devaki was of the same category as Sri Krishna. Vasudev then saw the newborn child. It's supposed to say Vasudev, right? Vasudev then saw the newborn child, who had very wonderful lotus-like eyes, and who bore in his 4 hands the 4 weapons Shankha, Chakra, Gada, and Padma. On his chest was the mark of Śrīvāsa, and on his neck, the brilliant Kaustuba gem. In the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 10.3.13, it is stated, Viditosi bhavan shakshat purusha prakrite para. Now I can understand that you are the Supreme Person beyond material existence. In the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 10.66, verses 13 to 14, it is stated, Shankarasi gada sharanga Śrīvātsadupalakshitam Bibhranam Kaustuba manim Vanamala vibhushitam Kosheya vasasi pite Vasanam Garuda dvajam Amulya molya bharanam Spuran makara kundalam. He carried the conch shell, disc, sword, club, and shango bow. He was decorated with the mark of Śrīvāsa, the Kaustuba gem, and a garland of forest flowers. He was dressed in upper and lower garments of fine yellow silk. His banner bore the image of Garuda, and he wore a valuable crown and gleaming shark-shaped earrings. In the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 1.18.21, it is stated, Atapiyat padanakav vasrishtam jagar virincho pahritar hanamba shesham punatyanyatamu mukundat ko namaloke bhagavat padartha. Who can be worthy of the name of the Supreme Lord but the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna? Brahmaji collected the water emanating from the nails of his feet in order to award it to Lord Shiva as a worshipful welcome. This very water, the Ganga, is purifying the whole universe, including Lord Shiva. In the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 10.70.44, it is stated, Yasyamalam divi yasha pratitam rasayam bhumau chate bhuvana mangala digvitanam mandakiniti divi bhogavati chadho Gangeti cheha charanambu punati vishvam. My dear Lord, you are the symbol of everything auspicious. Your transcendental name and fame is spread like a canopy all over the universe, including the higher, middle, and lower planetary systems. The transcendental water that washes your lotus feet is known in the higher planetary systems as the Mandakini River, in the lower planetary systems as the Bhogavati, and in this earthly planetary system as the Ganga. This sacred transcendental water flows throughout the entire universe, purifying wherever it goes. So what was that all? That was such a long commentary. Let's just see. So no, the Supreme Lord lies on Sheshnag. He is a husband of the goddess of fortune. His chest is decorated with the mark of Śrīvāsa, the Kaustuba jewel, and his carrier is Garuda. Know for certain that all these symptoms are found in Krishna, and that Mother Ganga does not appear from the lotus feet of anyone else other than him. Except for Lord Chaitanya, these symptoms are not possible to find in anyone else. This is a statement of the Vedic literatures and the Vaishnavas. Okay. So Sarva Vaishnavera Vakya Jai Adare Loy Shei Sab Jana Pai Sarvatra Vijay. Whoever respectfully accepts the statements of the Vaishnavas is victorious everywhere. Gaudiya Bhashya. Those who are dedicated to the scriptural conclusions and who faithfully accept the instructions and understanding of the Lord's devotees become victorious everywhere. Heno mate Mahaprabhu Shri Gaur Sundar Bhakta Goshti Shange Biharena Nirantar. In this way, Shri Gaur Sundar always enjoyed pastimes in the company of his devotees. Prabhu Vedi Bhaktagan Boshena Shakal Chodige Shobhaya Jeno Chandrer Mandal. One day, all the devotees were sitting around the Lord like the stars surrounding the moon. Madhya Vaikuntha Natnyasi Chudamani Niravadi Krishna Katha Kori Haridwani. The Lord of Vaikuntha and crest jewel of the sannyasis was sitting in the middle. He was sitting in the middle, incessantly narrating the glories of Lord Krishna. He noi shamoy dui mahabhagyavan hoilen asya prabhur vidyaman. At that time, two most fortunate souls came before the Lord. Can you guess who those two souls are? We just read it in the introduction before we read it. I'm guessing, I don't actually know for certain, but I'm guessing it's Rūpa and Sanātana because I think that was, yep, it is. Sākara Mallika Rūpa dui bhai, dui prati kripa drishte chahila goshai. The Lord then mercifully glanced on those two brothers, Sākara Mallika and Rūpa. That's interesting that it says Sākara Mallika and Rūpa instead of Dabir Kas, which was the name of Rūpa, which was the name that he was referred to in his government work. Huh. Interesting. Anyhow, Dure thaki dui bhai dandavata kori kakurvada koren dashane trina dhori. From a distance, the two brothers fell flat, offering obeisances to the Lord. Taking straw in their mouths, they spoke with great humility. Jai Jai Mahaprabhu Shri Krishna Chaitanya Jahar Kripai Hoilo Sarvaloka Dhanya. So Rūpa and Sanātana said, all glories to Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by whose mercy all people have become fortunate. Jai Dina Vatsala Jagata Hitakari Jai Jai Parama Sannyasa Rupa Dhari. All glories to the Supreme Lord, who is kind to the fallen and who is the benefactor of the world. All glories to the Supreme Lord, who has accepted the form of a sannyasi. Jai Jai Sankirtana Vinoda Ananta Jai Jaya Jaya Sarva Adi Madhya Ananta. All glories to the Supreme Lord, who enjoys unlimited pastimes of Sankirtan. All glories to the Lord, who is the beginning, middle, and end of everything. Apane hoya Shri Vaishnava Avatar bhakti diya udharila shakal sangsar. You have incarnated as a Vaishnav, and by distributing devotional service, you have delivered the entire world. Tabe Prabhu more na udharakon kaje, mui ki na ho Prabhu sangsarer majhe. Then for what reason, my Lord, are you not delivering us? Do we not belong to this world? Ajanma vishay bhoge hoya mohita, na bhajilo tomar charana nijahita. Since our birth, we have been bewildered by sense gratification. Therefore, we have not worshipped your lotus feet for our own benefit. Tomar bhaktir shange goshti na korilu, tomar kirtana na korilu na shunilu. We have neither associated with your devotees, nor have we chanted or heard your kirtans. Rajapatra kori more vanchana korila, tabe more manusha janama kene dila. You have deceived us by making us ministers of a king. Why then have you given us this human form? Why then have you given us this human form of life? Je manusha janma lagi deve kamya kore. Heno janma diyao vanchila prabhu more. The demigods pray for a human birth. Yet even though you have given us a human birth, you have deceived us. Ebe e kripa koro amai hoya. Vrikshamule pori thako tor namaloya. Therefore, please be merciful on us this time, without duplicity. Give us your non-duplicitous mercy. Non-duplicitous. Sorry. Therefore, please be merciful on us this time without duplicity, so that we may live under a tree and chant your names. It says, Amaya Hoya. Do not, Maya is illusion, but don't put us under illusion, please. Here's how to translate that in a dictionary. Amaya. I mean, it's the opposite of Maya, but just curious. Oops. Oh, it's not even in the dictionary. Huh, interesting. Okay. May we be blessed with the opportunity to receive the remnants of your dear servants at the door of his house. Oh, and Hare Krishna, Archana Didi, and Gopal Ghanasham Prabhu, and Ananta Om, and Shubhananda Prabhu, and Champak Mataji Sai, and Rasapriya Didi. Sorry, I didn't mention you before. Okay. So Rūpa and Sanātana said, Jai tomar priya patra lawai tomare avashish patra jeno hoya tar dware. May we be blessed with the opportunity to receive the remnants of your dear servant at the door of his house. It's reminding me of this song by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Sarvasa tomar charane sampiya, porechi tomar ghare, tumi to Thakur tomar kukur, bolia jana homore. Gaudiya Bhashya. Śrī Rūpa and Sanātana Prabhus said to Mahaprabhu Śrī Gaurasundar, you are the most magnanimous bestower of ecstatic love for Lord Krishna. You have accepted the dress of a devotee for the benefit of the entire world. You are Krishna, the original personality of Godhead, the only worshipable Lord for all living entities. Your servants bring the entire world to your lotus feet. We wish to become dogs, eating remnants in their house, in the house of your devotees. Is it? Tava nijajan prasada sevya, uchishta raki bejaha, Amar Bhojan, Parama Anande, Paibo Taha. No, what is it? Anyways, yeah. Oh, yes, thank you. Thank you, Archana Didi. You are Krishna, the original personality. Your servants bring the entire world to your lotus feet. We wish to become dogs, eating remnants in their house. The perfection of human life is to become servants of Gaura's devotees. Since we are highly placed representatives of a king, we have been deprived of becoming servants of the Vaishnavas. The only goal of human life is to serve Krishna under the subordination of Gaur. Those who cannot understand this become averse to Krishna and thus invite inauspiciousness on themselves. E mata Rupa Sanātana dui bhai, stuti kore shune Prabhu Chaitanya Goshai. In this way, the two brothers, Rupa and Sanātana, offered prayers, which were heard by Lord Chaitanya. Kripa drishte Prabhu dui bhai re chahiya, bolite lagila ati sadoy hoya. The Lord then mercifully glanced at the two brothers and began to speak with compassion. Prabhu bole bhagyavanta tumi dui jan, bahir hoila chindi sangsar bandhan. The Lord said, both of you are fortunate, for you have cut through the bonds of material life and left home. Bishai bandhane baddha shakala sangsar, she bandhan hoite tumi dui hoila par. The whole world is bound by the knots of material enjoyment, yet you have freed yourselves from that bondage. Prem bhakti bancha jodi koroho ekhone, tobe dhori poro e advaita charane. Now, if you desire pure love of God, then grab hold of the lotus feet of Advaita Prabhu. Bhaktir Bhandari Shri Advaita Mahashai, Advaiter Kripai Shri Krishna Bhakti Hoy. Shri Advaita Prabhu is in charge of the storehouse of devotional service. Devotional service is achieved by his mercy. Advaiter Kripai Shri Krishna Bhakti Hoy. Shuniya Prabhur Agya Dui Mahajane, Dandavata Purilen, Advaita Charane. Hearing the Lord's instruction, those two great souls fell flat at the feet of Advaita Prabhu. Jai Jai Shri Advaita Patita Pavan, Mui Dui Patitere Koroho Mochan. All glories to Shri Advaita, the deliverer of the fallen souls. We are most fallen, so please deliver us, Rupa and Sanātana said. Prabhu bole, shuno shuno Ācārya Goshai, Kali Juge Amon Virakta Jhatanai. The Lord then said, please listen, Advaita Goshai. There are no persons in Kali Yuga as renounced as these two. Raja Shuka Chari Kanta Karanga Loya, Maturai Thaken Krishner Nama Loya. They left royal pleasures and accepted only loincloths and torn quilts. They reside in Mathura and always chant Krishna's name. How does the verse go? Takta Turnamashisha Mandalapati, Shenim Sadatu Chavat. Amaya Krishna Bhakti Deha E Donhere, Janma Janma Arjena, Krishna Na Pasare. Please bestow pure devotional service on them so that they do not forget Krishna life after life. So that they do not forget Krishna life after life. There's that word again. Amayai Krishna Bhakti Deho E Donhere. Amayai. We translated it here as pure. Before it's translated as non-duplicitous. Bhaktir bandhari tumi bine bhakti dile, Krishna bhakti Krishna bhakta Krishna kare mile. You are the storekeeper of devotional service. Who can attain devotion to Krishna, the association of Krishna's devotees, or Krishna himself, unless you give him devotional service? We're dependent, we need Advaita. There's no way to attain devotion to Krishna, the association of Krishna's devotees, or Krishna himself without the mercy of Advaita Chandra. Krishna Bhakti, Krishna Bhakta, Krishna Karamide. You are the Bhandari, you're the storekeeper. So they need to get it from you. Can't get it independent of you. Advaita bolen Prabhu sarva datta tumi agya dile she dibare pari ami. Advaita Prabhu replied, O Lord, you are the giver of everything. If you order me, then I can give. Prabhu agya dile she bandhari dite pare, Ei mata jare kripa koro jar dware. Okay, so Advaita Acārya is accepting that he's the bandhari, the storekeeper. But he says, a storekeeper can dispense goods only on the order of the proprietor. In the same way, a person who is favored by you will certainly receive devotional service. Gaudiya Bhashya. The storekeeper is in charge of all the goods in the storehouse, but they aren't the owner of all the goods. So they need to get permission from the owner to be able to distribute the goods. Gaudiya Bhashya. Shri Gaur Hari said to Shri Advaita Prabhu, you alone are responsible for the storehouse of devotional service. Without your mercy, even a servant of Krishna cannot attain the service of Krishna. In reply, Shri Advaita said, the storehouse of devotional service actually belongs to you. You are the proprietor. Although by your order I am the protector of devotional service, I cannot give it to anyone without your permission. Kaya mano vachane mohar e katha, e duir prem bhakti hok sarvata. Oops. With my body, mind, and speech, I bless them both to have prem bhakti in every respect. Shruni Prabhu Advaiter Kripa Jukta Bani, Ucha Kori Bolite Lagila Haridvani. Hearing the merciful statement of Advaita, the Lord loudly chanted the holy name of Hari. Dabir Kasere Prabhu Bolite Lagila, Ekhone Tomar Krishna Prem Bhakti Hoila. Lord Chaitanya then spoke to Dabir Kas, that's Śrīla Rupa Goswami. He says, now you have received ecstatic love for Krishna. Advaiter prasade je hoy Krishna bhakti, jani ho Advaite Krishner purna shakti. Devotional service is possible by the mercy of Advaita Prabhu. Know for certain that he possesses all the potencies of Krishna. Koto din Jagannatha Shri Mukha dekhiya, tabe dui bhai mathurai thako giya. Both of you remain here for some time to see the lotus face of Lord Jagannath. Then go reside in Mathura. Toma sabha hoite jata rajasa tamasa, paschima sabare giya deho bhakti rasa. You should both distribute the mellows of devotional service to the people of the West who are under the influence of the modes of passion and ignorance. He's having them not just give bhakti, but bhakti ras. It's a big difference between just bhakti and bhakti ras. Bhakti was given before the time of Mahaprabhu, but it was only after Mahaprabhu that the bhakti ras was given. And he gave it through Śrīla Rupa Goswami, who wrote the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the ocean of bhakti ras. Before that, all these details about all the different relationships with Krishna were not available. They were unknown. Gaudiya Bhashya. Many atrocities were committed by hostile elements in Sri Mathura Mandal. Places like Gokul and the house of Nanda Maharaj show examples of those atrocities. Under the influence of their inherent qualities, many inhabitants of the West were envious of devotees and situated in a mode of ignorance. Śrī Rūpa and Sanātana, the commanders-in-chief of Śrī Gaura's army, empowered people from the West by softening their hard hearts with a flood of the mellows of devotional service. Wow. That's really... Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami had a huge, they made a huge change to Vrindavan. All the people of Vrindavan manifesting all the vigrahas there, their influence, and their influence is still felt like is still seen today. They soften their hard hearts with a flood of bhakti ras. Ami ha dekhibo giya mathura mandal, ama thaki bare stall kori ho biral. Sākara Mallika nam guchaiya tan, Sanātana avadhuta thuile nam. Later, I will come to Mathura, arrange a secluded place for my stay. The Lord then changed the name of Sākara Mallika to Sanātana. Interesting. It was in Puri that he did that. I'm curious if that's what Chaitanya Charitamrita also mentions it. Nice. Gaudiya Bhashya. Since the two brothers, who belonged to a Karnataka Brahmin family, engaged in the service of the Mohammedan king in the district of Malda, they were known as Dabir Khas and Sākara Mallika. At the time of awarding them spiritual names, Sri Gaurasundar gave Sākara Mallika the name Avadhut Sanatan. Interesting. Avadhut Sanatan. I've never heard that before. And he gave Dabir Khas the name Śrī Rūpa. In the ancient Koroshti language of northwest India, they are not referred to by any name other than Śrī Rūpa and Śrī Sanātana. Śrīman Mahāprabhu expressed a desire to go live in a solitary place in Vrindavan. He decided that he would not personally take up the preaching work, but would have Śrī Rūpa and Sanātana do the preaching. Mahaprabhu could just be absorbed in the three internal reasons, primary internal reasons that he came, and leave all the details of giving all the preaching work, disseminating bhakti ras to Rupa and Sanātana. Adyapiha dui bhai Rupa Sanātana, Chaitanya kripai hoila vikyata bhuvan. By the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, the two brothers Rupa and Sanātana are famous throughout the world, even today. I just want to see, I'm curious how this part is explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita. If you don't mind me just looking for 1 minute. Where is it? Let's open up database. And contents. Okay, we're looking in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Let's search now for what is it? Sākara. Is it Mallika with 2 L's? Sanātana. I think it'll come up like that. What's this? Okay. This is the pastimes. This is Madhya Lila, first chapter. Thus, in the dead of the night, the two brothers, Dabir Khas and Sākara Mallika, went to see Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu incognito. First, they met Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur. Is this in Puri, though? No. This is explaining when they were in Ramakeli, right? I think so. Śrī Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur told the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that 2 personalities, Śrī Rūpa and Sanātana, had come to see them. In great humility, both the brothers took bunches of straw between their teeth, each binding a cloth around his neck, and fell down like rods before the Lord. Upon seeing Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the 2 brothers were overwhelmed with joy, began to cry. Okay, let's see the next thing. I'm just seeing where it explains that when their names got changed. Anyhow, I don't want to take up too much time. Yes, see, look. Here it's explained. After hearing the prayer of Dabir Khas and Sākara Mallika, Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu said, "My dear Dabir Khas, you 2 brothers are my old servants. Aji hoite duhar naam Rupa Sanātana, dainya chharo tomar dainye phate morman." My dear Sākara Mallika, from this day, your names will be changed to Śrīla Rūpa and Śrīla Sanātana. Now, please abandon your humility, for my heart is breaking to see you so humble. You have written several letters showing your humility. I can understand your behavior from those letters. By your letters, I can understand your heart. Therefore, in order to teach you, I sent 1 verse which reads as follows. Okay, anyways. Yeah, so I guess in Chaitanya Charitamrita explains that Mahaprabhu gave those names to them in, I think, Ramakeli, and in Chaitanya-bhāgavata explains that he gave those names to them in Puri. Interesting. And Nilachal. Adyapiha dui bhai Rupa Sanātana, Chaitanya kripai hoila vikyata bhuvan. By the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, the two brothers Rupa and Sanātana are famous throughout the world even today. Oh, we just read that. Jar jata kirti bhakti mahima udar, Śrī Caitanya-chandra sheshab koro ye prachar. Śrī Caitanya-chandra always broadcasts the glories of their fame, devotional service, and magnanimity. Nityananda tattva kiva advaiter tattva, jata mahapriya bhakta goshtir mahatva. Chaitanya Prabhu Sheshab Korila Prakashe, She Prabhu Shab Iha Kohen Santoshe. In great satisfaction, Lord Chaitanya proclaims the glories of Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Prabhu, and his other dear devotee associates. Jai Bhakta Jai Vastu, Jar Jeno Avatar, Vaishnava Vaishnavi Jar Angshe Janma Jar. Jar Jeno Mata Puja, Jar Jeno Mata Puja, Jar Je Mahatva, Chaitanya Prabhu Sheshab Korilen Vyakta. Lord Chaitanya revealed who were his devotees, what were their previous identity, which Vaishnav or Vaishnavi the devotees were expansions of, what was their mode of worship, and what were their glories. Ekadina Prabhu Boshi Yache Suprakashe, Advaita Śrīvāsa Adi Bhakta Chari Pashe. One day, the Lord was sitting among the devotees headed by Advaita and Śrīvās. Śrīvāsa Pandite Tabe Ishwar Apane, Ācāryer Varta Jigyasena Tanasthane. The Lord then asked Śrīvās Pandit about Advaita Ācārya. Prabhu bole Śrīvās kohoto amare, Kiru Vaishnava tumi vasa advaitere. The Lord said, O Śrīvās, please tell me what kind of Vaishnav you think Advaita Prabhu is. Mone bhavi bolila Śrīvāsa Mahashoy, Shukava pralad jeno mor mone loy. Śrīvās Pandit thought for a moment and then said, I consider him similar to Shukadev or Prahlad. Advaiter upama Prahlad Shuka jeno, Shuni Prabhu krode Shiva sere mari lena. Oh my God, that was not the right thing to say. Hearing the comparison of Advaita with Prahlad and Shukadev, the Lord became angry and hit Śrīvās. Marilen. Shiva sere marilen. Pita jeno putre shikai. Pita jeno putre shikaite shnehe mare. E mata eka charo hoilo Shiva sere. I don't think I've ever heard this pastime before, actually. I mean, I have read Caitanya-bhāgavata before, but I just don't remember this. As an affectionate father spanks his son to teach him, in the same way, the Lord gave one slap to Śrīvās. And now he's speaking in the tui tense. As you know, there are three ways to address people: in apni, tumi, and tui. Now he's addressing him as tui. This is like how you talk to a little kid or to an intimate lover or something like that. So, ki bolili pandit Śrīvās, mohar nadare koho shukova pralad. What did you say? What did you say, Pandit Śrīvās? You are saying my nada is like Shukadev or Prahlad? Jai Shukere Mukta Tumi Bolo Sarvamate, Kalikar Balaka Shuka Nadar Agete. You may say that Shukadev is fully liberated, but in front of Nada, he is like an infant. Eto boro Bhakyamor Nadare Bolili. Aji boro Śrīvāsiya more dukha dili. How dare you say such things about my nada? O Śrīvās, you have given me great distress today. Eto boli krode hate chipa jashti loya, Śrīvāsere mari bare jana kedaria. Sorry. Saying this, the Lord angrily took a fishing rod in his hands and chased after Śrīvās to hit him. Oh my God. Samprame utiya Shri Advaita Mahashoy, Dhorila Prabhur Hasta Koriya Binoy. Shri Advaita Ācārya quickly stood up and gently caught hold of the Lord's hand. Balakere bap shikhaiba kripa mone, ke ache tomar kruda patra tribhuvane. O Lord, a father teaches his sons out of compassion. Therefore, who in the three worlds is a suitable candidate for your anger? Acharya Vakya Prabhu Krodha Kori Dur, Abhishe Kohentan Mohima Prochur. Hearing the words of Advaita Ācārya, the Lord gave up his anger and in the ecstasy began to profusely glorify Advaita. And we read yesterday about how Advaita was got all the devotees to glorify the godhood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So now, I don't know, it's kind of like Mahaprabhu's getting payback. Now Mahaprabhu's going to be glorifying Advaita Ācārya. Prabhu bole tohara balak shishu mor, ete ke shakal krodha dur gelo mor. The Lord said, but now Mahaprabhu's in the mood of being the Lord. So the Lord said, since all of you are like my children, my anger is now being banished. Seems like whenever Mahaprabhu refers to Advaita as Nada, he's established in his position as Bhagavan, not a devotee. I mean, that's what, every time the word Nada comes up, he's like in that mood of being the Supreme Lord. So, Mor Nada Jani Bare Ache Heno Jan, Je Mohare Anilek Bhangiya Shayan. Who could know the glories of Nada? It was he who woke me from sleep and brought me here. Prabhu bole, Ohe Śrīvāsa Mahāshoy, Mohar Nadare e Tomar Binoy. The Lord said, O Śrīvās, is this how you respect my Nada? Shuka Adi Korisha Balaka Uhar, Nadar Pache She Janma Jani Ho Sabar. Shruka and others are like his children. You should know they are all junior to Nada. Advaiter lagi mor e avatar, mor karne baje ashi nadar hunkar. I have incarnated only because of Advaita Prabhu. His loud crying is still ringing in my ears. Shrayane achinu mui kiroda sagare, jagai anilo more nadar hunkare. I was lying down in the ocean of milk, and my Nada's loud cries woke me and brought me here. Shivaser Advaiter Prati Boro Prita, Prabhu Bhakhya Shuni Hoilo Ati Harashita. Śrīvās, who had natural affection for Advaita, became very happy when he heard the Lord's statements. Śrīvāsa Thakur had a very intimate relationship with Advaita Ācārya even before Mahaprabhu appeared in this world. They go far back. So, Mahabhoy Kampahoy Bolilen Śrīvās, Aparada Korino Kamoho More Nath. Trembling in fear, Śrīvās said, "Oh my Lord, I have offended you. Please forgive me. Tomar Advaita Tattva Janoho Tumi She, Tumi Janaile She Janoye Anya Dase." You alone know the truth about Advaita. If you disclose this truth, then other servants can know. Ajimor Mahabhagya Shakala Mangal, Shikaya Amare Apane Koila Fall. Today I have become fortunate, and everything has become auspicious as a result of receiving your instructions. Ekhone she Thakurali boliye je tomar, aji boro mane bolo barilo amar. Now you have revealed your authority, and my mind has become strengthened today. E mor maner sankalpa aji hoite, Madira Jabani Jadi Thoren Advaite, Tathapi Koribo Bhakti Advaiter Prati, Kohilun Tomare Prabhu Satya Kori Ati. From today, my resolve is that if Advaita Prabhu touches even wine or women, still I will have staunch devotion for him. I make this promise before you. Wow, very similar to what the Lord says about Nityananda Prabhu all the time, right? Gaudiya Bhashya. When Sri Gaurasundar asked Śrīvās Pandit about the position of Advaita, and Śrīvās replied that Advaita Prabhu was among the topmost devotees like Sri Shukadeva or Prahlad, Gaurasundar became very angry about his evaluation and said, Sri Advaita Prabhu is the prime cause of my advent. From him, all the devotees have appeared. He is the manifestation of Lord Vishnu's Upadan Karan. Therefore, he is none different from Lord Vishnu and does not belong to the category of devotees. When Śrīvās understood from Gaurasundar's statements that one should not count Advaita Prabhu by external worldly consideration as a devotee, he said, from today on, I will accept Advaita Prabhu as Vishnu Tattva. Therefore, I will not consider Advaita Prabhu on the same level as living entities attached to indulging in intoxicants and sense gratification. I will also understand that there is no possibility for Vishnu Tattvas to become materially affected, as confirmed in the verse, Na prakritatvam iha bhakta janasya pashyet, by Śrī Rūpa Goswami, right? A pure devotee should not be seen from a materialistic point of view. Tushta, okay, and we're almost finished. I know we have 2 minutes left, so we'll stop in 2 minutes. Tushta hoilena prabhu Śrīvāsa vachane purva pray anande boshilatina jane. The Lord became satisfied on hearing Śrīvāsa's words. The three of them then happily sat down together as before. Paramara hasya e shakala punya katha ihar shravane Krishna paye sarvata. All these auspicious narrations are most confidential. By hearing these topics, one surely attains Krishna. Jar jeno prabhav, jahar jeno bhakti, jeva age, jeva pache, jar jeno shakti. Sabar sarvagya eka prabhu gora rai, ar jane je tahane bhaja amayai. That word is coming up again. Let's see how it's translated here. The omniscient Lord Gaurachandra alone knows the influence and devotion of each devotee. He knows their power, as well as who is senior and who is junior. Whoever serves the Lord without duplicity, it's translated as without duplicity, can also know these things. Whoever serves the Lord without duplicity can also know these things. Yes, that person. Yeah, okay. All right, I think it's time to stop now. Maybe let's stop here for today, 3:09, and we'll continue from this point tomorrow. I'll just read the translations up to where we were going to read. Just as the science of Lord Vishnu described in the Vedas is difficult to understand, in the same way, the science of the Vaishnavas is also difficult to understand. The characteristics of a perfect Vaishnava are most extraordinary. Not understanding this, people criticize them and then suffer the consequences. The characteristics of a perfect Vaishnava are most extraordinary. Just see yourself the example given in the topics of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Bhrigu Muni, and then we'll read about Bhrigu Muni. Bhrigu Muni, the great Vaishnava, the son of Brahma, thinks day and night about the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. Although Bhrigu kicked that Lord Vishnu in the chest, he is nevertheless accepted as a topmost Vaishnava. In this connection, please hear the statements of the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam regarding Bhrigu. And there's going to be, tomorrow, our full reading is just going to be this pastime from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. It explains it in full detail, this example of Bhrigu Muni, and then it continues glorifying the Vaishnavas. That's what telling the glories of the Vaishnavas. Okay, so that's our reading for today. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju ki jai, Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj ki jai, Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Gosai Maharaj ki jai, Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Vigyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Nityalila Pravishta Mahābhāgavata Srila Gaurkishora Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Nityalila Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. Nityalila Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Śrī Rūpa and Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai. Śrī Rūpa Sanātana Bhatta Raghunath Śrī Jeev Gopala Bhattadasa Raghunath Sharda Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Śrī Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Śrī Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Kshetra Mandala Gora Mandala Braja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj ki jai. Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kunda ki jai. Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi ki jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai. Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai. Shri Purnamasi Yoga Maya ki jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai. Jai Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata ki jai. Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai. Jai Shri the Gaudiya Bhashya of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Jai. The Lord's meeting with Śrī Rūpa and Sanātana ki jai. The words awarding the name Sanātana and Rūpa and Sanātana to Sākara Mallika and Dabirkas ki jai. Mahaprabhu's very heavy instructions to Śrīvās Pandit about Advaita Ācārya's position ki jai. Śrīvās Thakur ki jai. Shri Advaita Ācārya ki jai. Swaparshad Shri Gaur Hari ki jai. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Gaur. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Sattvatai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyashra Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams. Haribol, Sarveshwari Mataji and Nri Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, Archan Didi, Gopal Ghanasham Prabhu, and Ananta Om left. Rasapriya Didi, Shubhananda Prabhu, Champak Mataji, Amit Dandekar, and all the other devotees watching on YouTube. Oh, Vidyalalasa Didi, Haribol, and all the other devotees watching on YouTube and Facebook. Dandavat pranams. Thank you so much for joining, and I look forward to reading more about the glories of the Vaishnavas tomorrow and this example of Bhrigu Rishi from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Tomorrow will be a very short reading, only like 4,000 something words. I think just 4,000 words. So yeah. All right. Haribol. Oh, and I was just thinking this morning. So we're going to be finishing Chaitanya Bhagavata very soon. I was thinking, and then on May 8th, we're going to start this program, right, to go through all of the songs of Sharanagati. But I was thinking the days leading up to that, it would be nice to spend one day going through each verse of Srila Bhakti Rakshak Shiro Goswami Maharaj. He wrote a book called the Prapanna Jivanamritam. We went through it for over 5 months throughout Purushottama Mantha and Chaturmasya. We were reading a verse every day from that. And in the beginning of each chapter, he gives a very specific, very clear definition of each one of the 6 limbs of Sharanagati. And so I thought maybe it'd be nice to go through each one of those limbs of Sharanagati and get really very clear on the specific definition of Sharanagati, of each one of those limbs of Dainya, Atmani, Vedan, Goptrite, Varan, like that. And then when we're singing the songs of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in each one of these chapters of Sharanagati, we can see exactly, you know what I mean? Like it'll be a lot more clear. I think it'll be helpful for our program. Yeah. And so, yeah, you like the idea? Sorry, yeah. Okay, great. So yeah, we'll do that. Yes,
Prabhu,
yes.
What time you start the class in the morning?
Well, India time, it's 7 a.m. Yeah, India time it's 7 a.m. Yeah, it's an hour and a half. Every day I do an hour and a half program.
Yes,
with the Sharanagati program, I don't know yet if it's going to be an hour program or an hour and a half. We'll see what's comfortable. It's great if it could be an hour, but we'll see if that's enough time. So. All right. Dandavat pranams. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
Haribol. Jai Shri Radhe. Radhe Radhe. Where is the Zoom thing? Sorry, I'm just ending it here. Okay. Hari Bol. Jai Shri Radha.